The success rate of the average diet can be as low as a horrifying 1%. Yes, you heard that right, just 1%. That means 99% of people who start a weight loss plan may end up right back where they started. It's like running a full marathon only to find yourself back at the starting line. For decades, the calories in versus calories out story has ruled the conversation. Eat less, move more, they say. Just push away from the table. Now, if only it were that simple. Hey, I'm Dr. Delali Hevi, and I'm double board certified in internal medicine and obesity medicine. And I've spent the past 25 plus years helping people to lose weight and keep it off. Now, here's the part that matters. I have been on this journey myself, and therefore I do not coach from a pedestal, I coach from experience. Now, I have followed thousands of patients over years and years across every eating style that's imaginable. And what that has taught me is simple but powerful. There is no one best diet that's out there. There is the right plan for the right person built around the real reasons why that person's body is gaining the weight and refusing to let it go. So I combine the best of conventional medicine with holistic root cause strategy. And I'm also a certified health and wellness coach. So we keep it practical, human, and sustainable. So if you want clear, honest health advice and tools and strategies that you can start to implement today, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content. And if there's anybody out there who you care about and who you feel will benefit from this information, share this with them. It might be the very video that will change their life. Now back to the video. I have come to learn something very important. And that is that weight gain is not a mathematics problem, it is a biology problem. And in today's video, we are going to dive into what's really going on in your body when the scale refuses to budge. Now, in early observational studies using very stringent maintenance criteria, the success rate of weight loss plans was estimated at 1 to 3%. More recent population-based work using less strict definitions shows rates nearer to 15 to 20%. Now, no matter how you want to look at it, anyone who attempts to lose weight has the odds stacked against them. Now let's start with a myth. We are told that our bodies obey the laws of thermodynamics. So eat more than you burn and you gain weight. Eat less, you lose it. But the human body is not a toaster oven. It's an ecosystem full of hormones, enzymes, and feedback loops that change the way every calorie is handled. Telling an overweight person to eat less and exercise more is almost as ridiculous as telling somebody who is backed up with constipation to eat less and poop more. Crazy, right? Now imagine your metabolism as a big bucket of water. The faucet pouring in represents the food that you eat. That is the energy coming in. The little holes drilled around the sides carry water to different parts of your body. So your muscles, your brain, other organs, and yes, your fat cells. Now in a healthy body, that flow is balanced. Energy comes in, it gets used efficiently, and the bucket never overflows. But what happens when one hole, like the one leading to fat storage, suddenly widens up? So more and more energy rushes into your fat cells while the rest of your body is left running on fumes. You feel tired, cranky, and strangely hungry, even though you've technically eaten enough. That's the moment most people start to blame themselves. I have no willpower, I'm just lazy. But in reality, your fat cells are hogging all the power. Now let's talk about the ringleaders behind this chaos. Hormones. And insulin is the head honcho. Insulin is the one deciding whether energy gets burned or stored as fat. Every time we eat, insulin rises to shuttle nutrients into cells. That's perfectly normal. But when insulin stays high too often, thanks to things like sugar spikes, constant snacking, or stress, It tells your fat cells to open wide and hold everything hostage. Then come the accomplices. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and this starts screaming at you when your bucket runs low everywhere except in your fat cells. And thirdly, there's cortisol, the very well-known stress hormone, and this convinces your body to store extra just in case. So soon your entire system thinks there's a famine going on, even as your fat stores continue to grow, and then you find yourself trapped in a loop. You crave, you eat, you store, you crash, then you crave again. And that is why calorie restriction alone rarely works. It's like turning off the faucet when the real issue is a fat cell hole that's the size of a manhole cover. Now let me tell you about a patient of mine called Maya. Now of course that's not her real name, but this is a story I've seen hundreds of times. Maya was a 42-year-old busy mom and accountant. She had tried every program out there, calorie counting apps, low-fat diets. Every time she would lose 5 pounds and then 10 pounds will creep right back. She came to me almost in tears and she said, "I feel broken." When we ran her labs, the story was crystal clear. Her insulin was elevated, her cortisol was flattened from chronic stress, her thyroid gland was sluggish, and her estrogen to progesterone ratio was off balance. Now her bucket's faucet wasn't the problem, the fat cell hole was. Energy was getting trapped where it shouldn't have. So we shifted gears. We focused on signal repair. She stopped grazing all day to let insulin rest between meals. She added protein and healthy fats for steady energy. She prioritized sleep so that her cortisol could reset. She started gentle morning walks instead of punishing workouts, and within 6 weeks, her cravings quieted. By 3 months, the weight began to melt off. Same number of calories, but a different hormonal response. When she came back smiling, she said, "I finally feel like my body is working with me, not against me." And that's what happens when you stop fighting your biology and start teaching it to flow again. So here's the hard truth, friends. When you slash calories, you lose trust with your body. Your metabolism senses a crisis. It slows your thyroid, conserves energy, and screams for sugar. That's why those crash diets can often backfire. They drain the bucket for a moment, but the big fat cell hole is still there. You cannot out-willpower hormones, and you have to re-educate them. So what does that mean? To balance insulin, you need to space your meals out, cut back on refined carbohydrates, and stop constant snacking. In order to lower chronic stress, it helps to practice meditation, deep breathing, prayer, sunlight exposure, or whatever helps cortisol calm down. In order to support sleep and circadian rhythm, make sure you are in low intensity light at night. Give yourself morning light exposure, and do not do any doom scrolling at 11 p.m. at night. And then also nourish your body. So eat real food that your grandmother would recognize, and remember that quality beats quantity every time. And these are the levers that will shrink the hole in the bucket so that energy can finally flow where it's needed. Today, we only touched on a few of the things that have the potential to make those fat cells become really greedy. There are many more, and in future videos, we are going to dive into all of them. And I guarantee you, you will be blown away by some of the things that can do that. Now let's talk a little science. Back in the 1950s, a researcher named Wade performed experiments on female rats. When he removed their ovaries, the rats became ravenous and obese. And here's the twist. Even when he restricted the amount of calories that they were eating, they kept gaining weight at the exact same rate. So their bodies simply slowed down their movement and their metabolism in order to maintain the same rate of fat storage. That same pattern shows up in humans. When hormones push the body into fat priority mode, it will conserve energy from everywhere else to make that happen. It's biology, not moral failure. So if you've been on that roller coaster, please hear me. You are not broken. Your bucket just needs a tune-up. Your body is hardwired for homeostasis, which is constant balance. So when one system falters, others compensate. And that's why healing often requires a whole person approach. Once your signals normalize, amazing things happen. Your natural hunger cues return, energy stabilizes, exercise feels good again instead of exhausting, and your weight starts moving in the right direction, gently and sustainably. So think of your bucket now. The faucet flows at a comfortable pace. Each little hole feeds the organs, muscles, and brain in perfect measure. The fat cell hole has tightened back to normal, and energy is circulating smoothly again. And that's what metabolic health feels like. Now let's touch on a few pitfalls that I see often. Number one, over-restriction. So you eat so little that your metabolism panics and slows down. Number two, all or nothing exercise. You push too hard, you spike your cortisol, and your body ends up clinging to fat. Number three, ignoring stress and sleep. These two are the quiet saboteurs of every good plan. So if you recognize yourself in those mistakes, don't feel guilty, just adjust the course. And finally, let's finish with 3 small actions you can take today to start healing your metabolism. Number 1, eat 2 or 3 distinct meals instead of grazing or constantly snacking. This gives insulin downtime between meals. Number 2, swap your breakfast from something sweet to something savory. Think things like eggs, unprocessed sausage, if you're vegetarian, tofu or beans, or even leftovers from the previous night's meals. This will help you cut the mid-morning crash. And number 3, step outside for 10 to 15 minutes of early morning sunshine. This resets your internal clock. So that's it. No gimmicks, just biology working the way it was designed to work. If this has helped you see weight gain in a new light, please hit the like button so that YouTube knows this message matters. Also subscribe so you don't miss the next time we talk about restoring balance from the inside out. And please, share this with someone you know who has been blaming themselves for years. They deserve to know it's not their fault. Thank you very much, and until the next video, I wish you all the best on your healing journey. Take care and bye.